Hey everyone, Emeka coming at you here, and I am super excited. I get to sit down with one of our students, Keisha, today. And Keisha is nice enough to take some time out of her vacation. Is it South Carolina you're in right now?
Hilton Head Island.
Stonehead Island?
Hilton Head.
Hilton Head Island. And Keisha is going to talk to all of you about what it's been like running her multiple Kindle publishing, self-publishing businesses over the last 5 years. So Keisha, welcome to the channel finally.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. I'm just loving the view. Can you turn the camera to show everybody where you're at?
I'm on a golf course and a lagoon here.
With alligators. I saw on your Facebook post.
Can you see it? I can't tell if you can see it or not.
Yeah. No, it looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right. So I'm excited to dive into this. We had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
But let's start at the very beginning. I think that would make sense. Talk about why you started your publishing business or started looking for an online income.
Right. I started, it was, I think it will be 5 years in April.
Okay.
And I had been very sick for many years, so I was not able to work. And I don't know if you even know that part of my story. But
I've heard it from a few students, but I haven't actually, I don't know the details. But I heard you were bedridden for a while.
Yes, for a couple of years.
Wow.
And I was very sick. And so my husband supported us. I was not able to work. I couldn't do anything, even simple things around the house. But I got this idea, man, if I could just earn $150 or $200 a month and just pay the electricity bill, that would be great.
Right.
Then I'd be contributing to the household. So I started doing some research on the internet, and I came across, like most people, KMM.
Yep.
At that time, I used a discount code. I think I got it for $37.
Insane.
And that seemed like a lot of money to me to invest on something on the internet, that I didn't know anything about. But it was the best $37 I ever started. It led me to a course of amazing, So I started there. At that time, there were no other courses, and there were no mentors. And I did what most people did. I wasted my first couple of months editing a book because I did it on a topic I knew about. And so it was I was trying to make it perfect, like everybody does.
Yeah.
And then someone said to me, and a group I was in, if you're going to be successful at this, you have to step out of your comfort zone. And I thought about that, and I actually took a break, and I took a walk, and I came back, and I thought, if I have to step out of my comfort zone 1,000 times a day, I'm doing this. And that was that did it for me. So I sold my first book, 99 cents, which is 30-cent royalty or something.
Yeah. And
that convinced me. I was like, oh my God, I can make money doing this. It's 30 cents, but I can turn 30 cents into 30,000 and 300,000. So that was the motivating factor, was that 30 cents.
The first 30 cents. Yeah.
So I started an account under my own personal name, like everyone does.
Yep.
And, I was advised to start a second account with open an LLC, a corporation, and get an EIN number for that corporation and open a second account, basically to protect myself, and as sort of a form of diversification. Diversification
on Amazon?
Yes. So, for instance, I had 2 accounts. So if something happened to one account, for whatever reason, because it's Amazon's platform, they can do whatever they want, I still had another account.
Correct.
So instead of losing 100% of my income, I would only lose 50%. That was my thinking at the time.
And how were you publishing books at the time with those 2 accounts? Were you just okay, this pen name will go in this account and this pen name will go in this account?
Yes.
That's essentially how you're doing?
I just started divided them up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No particular, I don't know that that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I did it in such a way that financially it was going 50-50.
Cool.
So just to protect myself, if I lost one account, I would only be losing 50% of my income.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I was doing it more of from a paranoid state, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was more fearful, as everyone is, starting out.
Right.
And eventually, as those grew, I realized, I could turn this into a business, meaning I could create more publishing accounts, publish books, build those up, and sell them. So at one point, I had 4 publishing companies, and I have since sold 2 of them. And so that's been great. I mean, that's a lump sum, and then I don't move on.
When
And
did you sell them?
It made it more interesting for me.
Right.
I got kind of bored with just publishing books. And so moving beyond that and looking in terms of business and business growth, that made it more interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. How long did you have them before you sold them? Like, how long were you working with 4 accounts?
Mm-hmm. I had 3 accounts for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I started a 4th one. So, I mean, I had all 4 of them active at one time.
Right.
Because companies.
Right.
It isn't me, it's a company.
Should we, do you want to explain that to all the people who are like, wait, what? Huh? Well, you know how people get around this topic.
Yes.
90% of people have no clue what they're talking about when they're talking about this. But can you just kind of well, you know what people think. Can you explain to them give them facts?
I was lucky enough to have an accountant that was really good at sitting down with me and explaining to me about businesses and corporations and how they work, and a great attorney. And so that combination of, it's just like using a mentor. Having a good attorney and an accountant is the same thing.
Totally.
They help you think bigger. They help you understand. And so that helped me. It broadened my horizon, vision there, And so basically, you open an LLC, which is a limited liability company. And my accountant did my first one for me. All the others I've done myself. I just opened them myself because I know how to do that now. And my attorney just looks over it and makes sure I did it right. And you go to the bank, you open a bank account that goes with that company.
Yep.
And that company has an EIN number. Now, an EIN number is sort of like I have a personal social security number.
Yeah, it's like your social.
And companies have EIN numbers, not social security numbers.
Okay.
And so that's what makes it what we call a totally separate entity.
Yes.
And so it doesn't matter how many, for instance, all of my publishing companies have my phone number and my home address, because I'm running 4 companies out of the same office building, which just happens to be my house. Does that make sense?
No. Hey, I understand this. I'm just imagining people watching this be like,
Think about it like this. Think about you go rent office space in a building where lots of people are renting office space. You all have the same address.
You all have the same address.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's 40 companies running out of there.
Yeah.
And so that's not an issue. That is a legal entity. An LLC is a legal entity. And an entity is a little bit of a confusing word, but it's sort of like, think about it as a person. It's a totally separate person. I am not my company.
No.
I'm the president of it, or whatever you want to call me, the CEO or whatever. I am not the company.
What about computers and IP addresses and, big bad evil Amazon watching you?
Right.
Yeah. Those are always funny posts to read.
Yes. So when you log in, it doesn't matter what your IP address is if you are different companies. For instance, I could have a company on Amazon. I could have a publishing account, and my husband could have a publishing account. And we're logging into the same computer.
Right.
And we're logging into different accounts with different social security numbers or EIN numbers. And so that doesn't matter. We are legitimate entities. And I will say, when I had those 4, I also managed publishing businesses for other people. So I actually managed 2 other accounts. So at any given day, I was logging into 6 different publishing accounts from my little laptop here. Yeah. And, that they're all legal entities. They're all like separate people.
Yeah.
And the difference is, and I don't know, people make all kinds of errors in how they set up their companies, or they try to use their own personal bank account and their LLC bank account as the same thing. Well, Amazon's going to know you have the same bank account.
Yeah.
Your company has to have its own bank account.
So everything's different except you can say same address and phone number is where, but everything else would be.
The difference is the bank account and the EIN number.
Right. And then you're setting up like the bank account or the accounts you set up all under your company's name.
Correct.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah. So you keep it all separate and clean.
Yes.
There are no crossovers.
There's no crossovers. Okay. Love it. All right. Let's keep moving forward. So you sold those 2 accounts. Decent paid. Sorry, nonfiction or fiction?
All fiction. I'm sorry, all nonfiction.
All nonfiction. All right. Decent payday for selling 2 accounts. Like, I know fiction can go for a ton. I'm not really familiar with selling nonfiction accounts. Like,
are you asking me? Did I make a lot of money?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Each one sold for over 6 figures.
Yes.
So it's not bad. And how long did it take you to build those up? Would you say?
About a year for each one.
About a year so you're building at the same time?
I'm sorry, what?
You're building them for the same time? Like, yeah.
Well, like I did one, and then 6 months later I started another one, and then I ended up selling both of them.
I know it was a while ago, but do you have any idea how much you think you invested in them, like in terms of books and everything to get it going? Like,
yeah,
like
probably
20 grand.
No, not that much. I would say probably about 10,000.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. So the key was, and it was a little bit easier at the time, but also I was more into it. But it's to set up systems.
Systems. Yeah.
Put systems and workers in place. Clear systems like I use Google Drive.
Yeah.
And clear systems so that it's all just happening quickly all the time.
Cool. So, okay, so you sold them, and then.
So now I have 2.
Okay, so now you have two companies, publishing companies you run, and then I'm not sure of the year that would be in, but where's your business now?
Right now, I do over 10. I profit. So when I give numbers, I'm always talking profit.
Sweet.
But I profit over 10,000 a month on each. I'm debating on whether or not to start a whole nother one and build them up, just because it's fun for me.
That's awesome. I can tell as you're talking about it, you're beaming. You really enjoy it. You love building.
Yes, I like the startups and building, and as we talked about earlier about women, I'm less interested in the money. I want to have fun and be happy and enjoy myself and do what I want to do and be around the people I want to be around and not get too hung up in all the little details. Cool. And just keep things moving forward and having a good time with it.
It's freaking awesome. That's awesome. All right. So you're profiting over 10. What would you say? Like, so would sales be like what, 15? Like how much is?
Well, I will say I took Marco's course about ads, Amazon ads, and that increased my income and decreased what I was paying out in Amazon ads.
Yeah, like it's
when I learned how to play that game.
Yeah, like that's a massive game changer too. It's,
right.
Yeah, no, we went from 3,000. We did 3,000 in ad spend 2 months in a row. Yeah. We were a little out of control, but we've got it down to like, I think it was like 1,200, but profits have gone way up.
Yeah. So, yeah. Same here.
Yeah. It's freaking awesome. Okay, cool. And then, so you're running those 2 now. When did you start the blueprint? Like, when did you come in and join our community?
Right. But this is what I've done over the years. I started with KMM, and at that time, that was the only course.
Okay.
And got a pretty good idea of how it all worked.
Cool.
And started doing my own thing. There weren't any mentors. There wasn't anyone to help you out there, And as other courses cropped up, I would pay and take the courses and just sort of blip through them real quick and see, is there any little thing I can learn from this person?
Ongoing learning. Love it.
And so I've actually taken a lot of courses, although, I just glanced through them, looking to see, is there something I haven't thought about? or they have a different idea about something. So I don't even know how I found out about you, but I saw that you had that little book that you were selling.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
thought, oh, well, I'll get his book, and then I can see if there's anything I can learn from this guy.
Mhm.
And when I went to check out, I accidentally clicked the button to like join your course. Yes.
You accidentally?
That's honest true. I only wanted the $7 book or whatever. You know? And so next thing I know, I'm like in your course, and I'm like, dang, that's not what I meant to do. And I considered like just asking you for a refund and saying, look, I just clicked the wrong button. And I thought, well, I'll see what this guy has.
Yeah.
You know, if you have anything in there. And I ran through your course and got a couple of ideas. And you had a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And so I just went in the Facebook group. And then what I saw was that you are actually actively publishing. And you're excited about it and interested about it, and just sort of feeling your way through like everybody.
Yeah.
And, just, you know, sharing your journey. And it's a little bit different than some of the other teachers and courses that are out there. So I just stuck around in the Facebook group, and then you started talking about a mastermind event in Cancun.
Yeah.
And so I met you there.
We got to tell people, I think it was maybe a few weeks prior. You had, I remember when I saw this Keisha Armstrong signed up, I was like, who the hell's that? You know, and so I looked you up on Facebook. I was like, oh, she's a member of the course. Okay, cool. And then I think you did one post, and it was like 2 lines. Like, I make over $10,000 and I'm not doing the health and fitness niche. Right? It was like, that was it. And everyone's like, whoa, sorry. Who are you? Where did you come from? Right? And then, and then you didn't have your face as your profile.
No, I only recently added it.
Like you just recently changed it. I'm like, there she is. And then you walked up to me at Cancun, and you're like, hi, Emeka, I'm Keisha. And I'd never seen you before in my life. We had never spoken. It was an amazing experience for sure.
Yeah, I was totally anonymous, and I came out of the closet in Cancun and said, okay, this is who I really am. And I never posted pictures. I had never done anything.
Nothing.
I was not into social media.
No.
At all. And I will say, when I started, by the way, you know, I'm older. So I didn't grow up with computers and cell phones. And when I started, I knew absolutely nothing. I had no idea what Facebook was. You know, I had never heard of Skype, or I still don't know what Twitter is. I mean, you know, you don't have to have these things. You know, I had never heard of a virtual assistant before, or what that meant, or how you get them, or what they do for you. I mean, I knew nothing. I don't have the skills, or I didn't have the skills that you younger people have when I started.
So were there more challenges for you that way because of that?
I just had a lot of, I think, more learning curves than most people, because I had to learn all of these little technical things that most of you under the age of 30 know. You've grown up with, you know it.
That's really interesting. You know what? One of the Academy members, he's 76, and I'm so excited to work with him. And I was telling my wife when he sent me an email, and I was telling my wife, Mariana, I was like, I'm so stoked to work with this guy. And he even said, he's like, I'm going to be a kick-ass testimonial for you because I'm 76, you know, something along those lines. Right. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, that's just so cool. It's right. Exciting. It is. You're right. Because anybody can learn this business. Like, you don't have to crunch Facebook ad numbers, or, you know, worry about like so many of the other e-commerce type of stuff. It's the learning curve is so simple for self-publishing.
And most people don't realize that they actually probably have most of the skills already that they need. You know, I didn't, because I was older and I had not like worked in jobs with computers or anything like that. But most people, my goodness, if you're under 35, you already have most of the skills. There isn't a huge learning curve.
You're absolutely right. I always say, if you can turn your computer on and get onto the internet, you can publish books and make money online.
That's where I started. I knew how to do email.
Right. Yeah, that's a multi-million-dollar a year business right there. Email marketing, right? Like, it's
it's amazing.
Yeah. Now, Keisha, what made you stick around our community? Because you've been through them all. You know, hopefully learned a couple things. being around the Blueprint community. But what have you seen, especially coming to the Mastermind, and what made you go to the Mastermind, but
Right.
talk about the community.
Yeah, with the other courses, I never really participated much in the communities. I just sort of watched, like a lot of people do, and I was a journalist, so I was watching. And I would learn tips and tricks here and there from people. But the one thing that I saw different about yours was that you have all of these, you have a lot of experts in there. And although they have courses that they're selling, they're still in there giving free advice.
Yeah.
They're still in there giving free information. And people can come in and complain, oh, they're just trying to sell a course. And I'm looking at it like they're giving you free info.
Yes.
They're up to date today on what's going on. And they're willing to come in here and give you information and give you tips. And if you buy their course, great. But if not, they're still willing to share. And so you have a lot of that I don't see in a lot of the other groups.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's you can just tag, like, you have a question on AMS ads, like you can tag Marco in the Blueprint group,
right?
And he'll respond to you, and he's not going to say, oh, it's only taught in my course, you have to buy the course. We're not like that. We don't like, we want to make money, but we want you to kick ass first.
Right.
That's a major philosophy that kind of all have. We're only as successful as our students.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what made you come to Cancun besides time away from the husband?
Well, I would have brought it, but I decided to bring my sister.
Hey, your sister, Cammie?
Yes.
Yeah, she was a blast.
Yeah. I really don't know. I was just driving my car one day and I thought, you mentioned that Cancun thing, maybe I should go.
Yeah.
So I just got on the computer and looked up the flights and that sort of thing. I had no idea what it would cost. I had never flown out of the United States before.
Really?
I didn't have a passport or anything,
What?
And I actually didn't have a lot of time to get a passport. I had to pay extra money to get
expedite it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I just decided, I do like to push myself out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And I had never been out of the US and, all of these different things. And I just thought that was, would be fun to be uncomfortable a little bit, have a good time doing
it. You are an introvert, aren't you?
What better way to have a good time and be uncomfortable than to go to Cancun?
Right.
Yeah, if you're going to push yourself out of your comfort zone, at least do it at an all-inclusive resort. Right?
You're absolutely right. You definitely, for your first trip outside of the States, I think you picked a pretty good destination there.
Oh, it was great. I had a great time. It was fun.
It was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah. And I got to meet a really great people.
Yes. The caliber of people at that event was absolutely out of this world.
Yeah. And it's not something you can put into someone's mind to help them understand what being at a mastermind event, how it can change your life, how it changes your thinking, how it changes your business, and every part of it. People, you can't understand it until you're there and you go yourself.
Yeah, no, that was one of the struggles when I was making that sales page and I was talking to D1. He's like, you understand when the lives are going to be changed. It'll be nothing on the sales page. It'll all be those conversations at the pool, at dinner, in the hallway, those small one-on-one conversations that are not sexy. They don't sell an event, but it's actually what makes the event.
Right.
Right. And people who have been to events like that, they get it.
Right.
So
people want to know who's speaking and what are the topics they're speaking on. And it's like, well, that's great, but really you ought to go hear him speak in the swimming pool.
Yeah, totally. Because that's where the mind-blowing, the one idea that completely changes the direction of your business or your life happened in the pool. It didn't happen in the conference.
Right. It's the conversation and the interactiveness.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the importance of running an online business and what it's done for you being a woman. because this is something we were talking about off camera. You were enlightening me on a lot of things that, I'm a big, let's push against the grain. Don't do what society says just because it's always been done. Like, you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. You have a specific question, or you want to talk about women?
Why is it powerful for women to create their own passive income online now?
Women, as we talked earlier, it's kind of hard to believe, but even younger women, we're still ingrained to act a certain way and be a certain way, and societal and cultural roles that we're supposed to all be playing. And so it's very difficult for women to sort of figure out what their true passion and purpose is, and be able to step out of their societal role and pursue that, and then to have the people around them support them in doing that. And even their men, I would encourage men out there, encourage your wives and your sisters and so on to step out of those roles. So anyway, for me, having financial freedom, you can't even put that into words. I mean, it's just that even just the simple day-to-day, we were financially okay. We didn't want for anything, we had a nice home, etc. But just day-to-day, I can go to the grocery store, I can go anywhere I want and buy anything I want and not have to think, what does it cost? And I mean, that to me, that's financial freedom, is not the fancy car or the fancy house, but day-to-day, just not ever having to worry about what does something cost.
You know what? That's funny, Mariana. Our water tank broke, the hot water tank, and we went and just bought one the next day. And weeks later, maybe a month later, she's like, "You have no idea how much it meant that we could just go into the store and buy a hot water tank, get replaced. We didn't have to think about it." I was like, I had to think when did this? Oh, it was like a month ago. Right. And like she'd been, but that had impacted her. Like, she's like, wow, we've really, because before, like, it'd be like, all right, no hot water for the next 3 months.
Right.
Right. That's what life was like before. But, so that really, because money for her is confidence and security.
Right. And taking care of your children.
Right.
Providing security for your family. Yeah. Yes. People think about financial freedom as, yes, I was able to buy a very nice car. Yes, we did pay our house off. All of those things are great, but it's that day to day. As you say, your heat pump goes out, your roof, you need a new roof, and you don't have to go, oh my God, we're going to have to borrow $2,000 to do whatever, or take this out of our retirement to be able, it's just, you don't have to think about it. And it's so nice. One of the examples I use is like buying organic food. Like, organic food is a lot more expensive. And, I used to like debate, is this worth an extra $1 or an extra $2?
Yeah.
And now, so it allows us to take so much better care of ourselves. Yes. And to me, that's what freedom is.
I love you. I'm with you 100% on that. It's
but people don't understand that. That's not sexy. That doesn't sell. Oh, well, if you do this, you can buy organic food.
I got to do a video on that.
People want a BMW, whatever it is.
So let's talk about, you have a very unique group, and it's a group only for women. If you're a guy watching this, don't even bother trying to join.
Yeah, she won't let you in.
Yeah, she won't let you in. But let's talk about that, because the Blueprint group is great. It is male dominated. Right. I'm a male. I'm going to attract mostly males on the channel. They're going to, right. That's just how it is. Right. But you've done something, and I think it's going to help the women who are inside the Blueprint right now, and any new women entrepreneurial women, it's going to do wonders for them.
So what I see, I for years I did facilitate a support group in my hometown.
Okay.
And, so I had an understanding of basically the leadership of a support group. And so what I see in Facebook groups, and we'll just talk specifically about yours, but I mean, a lot of these publishing groups, they're all male dominated.
Yes.
And men and women, we work in a different way. And so for guys, to feel good about yourself, you have to be successful. And so what we see in male-dominated groups are guys coming in and showing their success. In part it's inspiration. They feel good about themselves. There's a number of reasons, but that's how men feel good about themselves, is to be successful. And women, in order to be successful, women have to feel good about themselves. Mm-hmm. They have to feel good about themselves first. And so women need a very different sort of support system and support style. Mm-hmm. And so what I started was a female publishing group, empowering women in business. Mm-hmm. And it's actually called, I'll see if I can remember, Empowering Women in Business Psychology, Leadership, and Love. And basically providing an arena for women to come in and talk, because women want to talk about other things, like how it's affecting their children or their lives, or they want to share more about the details of their lives and not as much about, I made $10,000 last month. You're
100% correct.
So women have a little bit of a different need. So I recognize that in your group. And what I saw was that a lot of people, they sort of go quiet and they disappear and they feel like they're not measuring up to all the successful people in the group or whatever it is. And so I started a group to support women.
Cool. So, and it's anyone can join, whether or not they're inside the blueprint already. Right. Okay. So it's just basically a place for women to connect with other, women self-publishers or.
Right. I was trying to get 10 women. That was like my goal.
Yeah.
And, I think I've had it for 2 or 3 weeks and we're like close to 30 women now. And I'm like, where did all these women come from? I mean, I didn't even know there were all these female publishers out here.
that's like that's super exciting. And, we've spoken, off and on for a couple weeks about this, and I'm all for it. If you're able to help these women succeed with self-publishing, by just giving them a separate area to voice or connect or whatever, if you're able to give them that, like, I'm all for it, because I just want to see them win as well.
Oh yeah. And I will say that literally, and I'm not kidding, within 24 hours, there were discussions going on in the women's group that I have never in 5 years seen discussed in all the male dominated groups.
That's awesome.
Women just share things, right. and they're very, I think probably more likely to share what their fears are and what they're intimidated by and that sort of thing. And probably more likely to talk about that than how successful they are.
Yes. Yeah, no, it makes total sense. And, right. I could see this being a massive game changer for all the women self-publishers out there, for sure. Just giving them that extra place to, to grow and connect, right. And then they could come into the blueprint group and spew all their success. That's like, hey, look what I've done now. Like, it's
right. Yeah. I'll tell them to go into the blueprint and share their dashboards.
There you go. Exactly. So no, that's awesome. Personal growth and working on yourself is something I think we need to do more of.
Yeah, one of the things when I started, I didn't know what my skills were. I didn't know what I would be good at. And actually, some of the things I thought I would be good at, I'm not. And so, personal growth and personal learning about oneself can really help you be more successful in your business. If you know what your skills are,
yes,
then you can take advantage of those. And if you know what you're not good at, then you know what to outsource.
Yes. 100%. Hey, speaking of outsourcing, so you have somebody who runs your business as well.
Yes.
Right. And how long have you worked with your assistants?
I have a couple of writers that I have used for about 4 years.
Okay.
And an editor that I've used for about 4 years. And then I have like a QA person who makes sure like the formatting, a quality assurance.
Okay.
To make sure the formatting is right and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
And then I have a manager who makes sure, for instance, I recently published 25 books. Like, that was my goal, to get those out before Christmas.
Nice.
And so my manager just tracks all of that. And she's been with me for maybe year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. So you got a full-on business going here.
I have a full system, and then I just sort of oversee. So people talk about like we just had a Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and everyone's talking about their sales. And just this morning I thought, and it's a week later, I thought, I probably should look at my sales for those days. I haven't even looked. My manager fills out some financial sheets for me that I'll look at like on the 1st or 2nd of the month for the month, and that's what I look at.
Right. Yeah, I only see, like, unless there's something special going, or we're going hard for a specific goal, I'll get, but he sends me a weekly report every week, and then it's just the monthly one, and I couldn't be bothered to check what the hell things are going on daily.
Right.
Don't care. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I did a video recently. I don't know if you saw it, the difference between an author, a publisher, and a business owner.
Sounds like a good video. I haven't seen it, but I will.
Yeah, well, take a look at it. So most people are like trying to be publishers and striving to be publishers. And, I moved out of that position into a business owner several years ago.
Yes.
And that's sort of what you're doing, outsourcing everything. It's a matter of working 20 hours a week or working 1 hour a week.
It's it's like, remember in Cancun, this, like, I'm the CEO, I'm a manager, and then staff. Right. It's similar setup. Right. You got a couple more publishing companies you deal with, though.
Right. I've done this longer.
Yeah, you've done it longer, but it's the exact same thing. Like 10 hours a month is probably too generous that I spend on my actual publishing business now.
Right.
Exactly. You don't need to. Right. So, but in the beginning, I think you can agree, it was night and day focus.
And absolutely. I worked really hard for a long time. Yeah. And I didn't know what the options were. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know there was a difference between being a publisher and being a business owner.
Right.
I didn't even know what those options were, or how huge this could become. I had no idea. And probably if I had known, I probably would have been too scared to even do anything.
That's a very good possibility. 100%.
It's a good thing that it just sort of evolved over time. And I see everything as just being a stepping stone to the next thing I'm going to do.
Love it. Well, Keisha, thank you so much for finally taking some time to sit down and share your story. This, I think, has been one of my favorite interviews, just because it's so unique, because you're running your business so differently than so many other people. But more people need to take notice, and we need more business owners, not more publishers, next year in 2019.
Right. I would love for people to do that and to help people get there. It's night and day, the difference.
Totally.
And for most people, they don't understand there's a difference, but also they're afraid to take the steps to, afraid to outsource, afraid to get an LLC, all of these different things.
Yep.
So, I would really encourage people, and they can reach out to me, whatever. And definitely the women. Got a Facebook.
We'll have a link. We'll have all of Keisha's links to her channel and to her Facebook group down below. No men allowed in the Facebook group, just a reminder. But Keisha, thank you so much once again. I think everyone's really going to enjoy this video. So until next time, we will speak to you soon.
All right, great. Thank you.